Hello everybody, how's everyone day? Ame Gakita desu. Today I'm just going to share with you guys an interesting topic in regards to Japan so-called declining um population. But the thing is, right, one of the declining population in Japan actually kind of caused an issue in Japan called closing out of school. Well, the thing is, right, if you actually guys take a look at the case that I'm gonna share today, I'm actually gonna talk about a few things that in regards that we might have to highlight that is declining population really a bad thing, or along the line that is there also other reason why school are getting closed in Japan? Well, actually more towards the point that there are actually a few things that we might have to highlight. It's just that sometimes when they put up the story, you kind of like intrigued to understand from their viewpoint, the way they say it's a one-sided story. But we are going to give them a benefit of doubt with a little bit of salt, and we're just gonna take a look. It's like one of the things that in what you guys have to understand that is when they say declining population, it's more towards the point that the picture they show is more of a rural countryside with less student. And in a sense that in that class you just basically see only just a few students, maybe sometimes 5, sometimes maybe 10 students in one school, and it can actually kind of prove to the point that yes, there seems to be a decline in population. But the thing is, right, of all the schools they have stated that over a period of from 2002 all the way to 2020, a total of 8,580 schools were closed. Meaning to say that that is a lot of school being closed during a period of less than 20 years. Is that a good thing? Not really. But the thing is, right, they actually go to the point of saying like the school playground was removed after becoming dangerous due to lack of maintenance, or swimming pool is now became occupied by ducks and dragonflies. So it's like, yeah, that just means that no one is using the school now. Yep, when there is no student, obviously there is no school. So it's actually more towards the point that there is not much school left, right? Not entirely. So what you guys have to understand that this story is just basically saying that the school out forever. It's just more towards the point that many school that is in the countryside are closing down or shutting down, because thing is many people move from countryside to the city side, meaning to say that people who live in the countryside is getting lesser and lesser. And when there is less people living in the countryside, it and more older people living in the countryside, there will be no people able to have young children at the countryside. I mean, like all the young people just go to the city, where everything is convenient, new technology whatsoever. Everything just mean that you want the electric, you want the internet, you want the clean toilet. Everything's mostly are in the country. It's in the city side, not in the countryside. So if you go to the country, yeah, you are not gonna find anything. So yeah, even in a lot of people will be saying like, can't they just kind of add internet, or maybe clean out the city or the countryside to make it more to a city. Yeah, but the thing is, right, most of the countryside are used for other purpose like farming and kind of like other stuff. So if you kind of use them for like make it into along the line of like building a city, yeah, that doesn't seem right. So it's more towards the point that some of the area just became not most people just decided just, yeah, you know what, we are just gonna move to the city area. And if in the case that there is young student or maybe young parent, the couple staying in that countryside of Japan, is there more towards the point that when they able to have a school? Yeah, the thing is, right, when there is like only one student in the whole school, that they will be like thinking along the line that when the student able to grow and have a social life, people will be like, yeah, we have to consider their lifestyle. So if their growth or whatsoever. So the thing is, right, they have to send the student to a school with slightly more student. So often more than not, that school will end up being near to the city area than the countryside. And when a school that had no student, yeah, the obviously the school is gonna get closed down. But the thing is, right, based on this report, there is also cases where not all school technically got shut down. Well, more towards the point that the school are actually being recycled. Well, some of the older school that are more on like unable to be maintained or repair, they will be demolished, and it's really sad that a lot of people actually have like memory of the school, almost towards the point of like those school are actually what people used to study back in the olden past. But when the school actually kind of like can't be maintained, yeah, it's the safety of the student, if or anyone else, is actually best to just take the whole building down. Apparently based on what the case are, school that can't be maintained will technically be kind of like demolished along the line. But if we actually look at some of the cases that out of 7,400 that is still standing, 74.1% are actually being reused, which means that around out of this all the school remaining, around 5,000-6,000 of school being reused for other purposes like non-profit. Look of a non-profit organization looking after turtles. I don't know why turtle, but apparently it's a thing. Or maybe some people use it as a shop, or maybe some people use it as a farming, which I had no idea. Like featuring farm product or culinary workshop. So it's like that people are using it for different purpose, which is a good thing. I mean, like reusing old building as a thing in Japan, but it's actually kind of highlight a lot of thing is that people are moving from the countryside to the city in Japan, and that just means that there is lesser and lesser countryside in Japan. A lot of people tend to say like, isn't that a good thing where people is getting modernized? Yes and no. It just basically means that we won't have the history of a village in Japan. Like olden village in Japan will no longer be a thing, and people just gonna change it in all became a city. So in a way, I would say it's more like cityized everyone more instead of countryized everyone. So no, it's more towards the point that like there will be less and less countrymen. And I mean, I was actually looking into other cases like aging Japanese town face challenge. Like it's not entirely like in this case that there is no more people from that is staying. It's more towards the point that there are cases where in aging population town, they have foreigner going in to stay for like maybe because along the line like those countries that are actually more towards the point of being used up for farming or near to factory or whatever, or maybe it's cheaper, so mostly foreigner are staying there. But that doesn't come with bad or downside, because it's more like it's more towards the point like there is also cases where like I will be doing a video on in regards like to Japanese hate foreigners. But the thing is, right, in this case there is also cases where people like like a lot of people who stay in Japan doesn't have a good understanding of Japan culture of like staying quiet at night, when people just kind of like start making noise at night time. So or maybe like not giving the respect for Japanese, so it's kind of like causing a lot of problem for Japanese that to cause have a not towards the hate but most towards like this concern. Maybe I would say dissatisfied with foreigner. Yeah, that might be a better word. But the thing is, right, all this just kind of like prove one thing is that school up forever in part of aging Japan is more towards the point of like countryside school are no longer be a thing. And it always been kind of like part of the culture of the like not really called ancient, more towards the olden Japan. But with many people moving to city area like Osaka and Tokyo, it's actually more towards the point that there will be just no point on having too many schools in Japan. And does they actually prove a point that there is less student? Not entirely. In fact, what you guys have to understand that there are still many students around in Japan. The number of graduate is still a lot. It's in the millions. But it's just that removing of old countryside school, it just became the norm, and most of the school either they got demolished or either they get reused for other purpose. But one of the things that actually got me surprised is that one of the school actually got kind of like recycled as a theme park, or maybe along the line of like a museum where people just want to showcase the reuse of school in the country is actually a thing. So it's actually more towards the point that we can understand that, but it's just only more towards the point of like it just being a temporary solution. They are still gonna like go along the line of getting demolished in the future, because the thing is, right, a building can only last a moment, and it's not like people are going to pay a lot of money to maintain their school. So when the school it can't be maintained, it's just the only way will be demolished. So yeah, um maybe in future some of the school might get became known as the haunted house or whatsoever. So it's actually enticing to see a lot of this thing that had whole like significant history in Japan countryside had now kind of like being just kind of like disappear. And see some of the comment which seem to get a lot of negative points than positive points. So I can kind of see why, because the thing is like we actually if you actually look at the point that old school kind of like got removed. And is it a good thing? I mean, like in Chinese, there is a saying like "oh, out with the old and in with the new." So if we actually want to have new things, a lot of people have to understand that you have to remove a lot of old things, even if they hold significance, meaning, or even if they are, uh, something that is holding a lot of memory. It's just that when in this harsh reality, when no one is of giving money to maintain those buildings for safety, they have to be demolished. Or if not, I mean, like maybe they can just kind of create a haunted house. I mean, like haunted school has always been a thing in Japan, so maybe someone can kind of like make it a theme park of haunted house with people actually doing the haunted, not real haunting ghosts. Okay, if there is a haunting ghost in that school, please don't let me go there. But anyway, write in the comment below what you guys think about this removal of many, or even reuse of the many Japanese old school in the countryside. And if you do like this kind of video, do like the please press the like button. Let me know, maybe I can talk about this and discuss more in the future. And don't forget to subscribe for more random chat where I don't follow a specific topic. But when I do, that won't be a random chat. But anyway, have a nice day or night. Bye.